Exciting.
Mhm.
Right, it's preparing. I've got a progress bar.
Exciting.
Mhm.
Right, it's preparing. I've got a progress. Right, there we go.
Oh, interesting.
Right, so we should be, yes, we are live on YouTube.
We okay, because I'll try to get it up here at some point. So just so I can check the chat and follow along, but I'll
Oh,
find
interesting.
I'm suddenly trying to remember what words I'm not allowed to use on YouTube. Oh no.
it.
I think mild profanity is okay.
Hi, I'm Peggy. We met. Oh.
Oh.
Mama Kickass opines that a profanity filter probably necessary for her child. She's not wrong.
Mama Kickass can be the profanity shield and maybe
That's
like
right.
throw something at
Just
you every time
throw a
you.
skein. She'll just throw a
Yeah.
skein of yarn at you if you get out of hand.
She's looking. I've only got cones over here. Oh God, I'm gonna die. Um, that could work. That could work. Yes, that
Okay.
could work. She's locked and loaded. All right.
We are live on YouTube and there is someone commenting on YouTube. So we
Okay,
are
Oh,
Oh my.
lovely.
Hi,
we're on
YouTube
we're
land.
on both channels. We're international.
oh, well, that's so fun.
Right.
And
For some reason, it's not coming through on mine but I'm on a tablet app, so that may be the issue.
I can comment for now,
Oh
Gary,
no, now I
until
see it.
you.
Now there it is. I see it
Okay,
now.
perfect.
Hi, puppers. Hi, Samantha. Yes, I see people. Awesome. Hey, Jenny.
Hello. How are you
Hi.
sounding?
I'm sounding, but today is the first day that I'm sounding a little more normal, so I'm thankful for that because this would have been a real chore if I had been squeaking like I was the last few days of my trip. So,
Yes.
oh, all right.
and Jeff, I love your icon picture. That was the dog. That was really cute.
Every
Yeah.
time when we go on vacation, they send us photos, and the black and white one is Barnaby. He's our dog, and
Oh,
he plays his heart out and sleeps for 2 days when we get home.
Aw.
Jeff.
Rest from the holiday.
What was
Oh,
that?
Robin said hello.
hi, Robin. Hi, Jay.
Hi, Jay. Hi, YouTube land.
I've never done one of these with you're a pro at this, Martin, because you and Arena do these like all fall along during the Westnets thing, yeah?
Yeah.
It gets easier.
Yeah.
Although
Uh,
Apple's done something to the thing. I mean, I used to be able to have Zoom open on one half of the screen
Mhm.
Hmm.
and Safari open on the other for YouTube, and now it's only letting
hmm.
me. There's obviously a setting that I must be able to get them, but it's just done something. So I'm now flicking back and forth between it. It'll be fine. I'll work it out in a minute. I'll call
Okay.
Mark if I get stuck.
Whereas this is all new horizons for me. I do audio only, so if there's like silence, I can take that part out. And
Yeah, this is the thing because when you're beaming it onto the YouTube, it's there
yeah,
then.
it's there. They're gonna see all my weird faces.
Yeah,
Oh no. Okay. Well,
it'll be fine.
it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. We'll blame the heat here and there.
Yeah. I'm ready for my close up. There we go.
Well,
There we
while we're getting going, then, do we want, as Gary said right before when we were just chatting at the beginning, so obviously you started this last year.
um
Is as I understand it, do you want to tell us the origin story?
well, so the origin story goes the year before.
Okay.
Um, when I had been working on this audio podcast, spinning on two wheels for a few years at that point, and I'd realized not only was I recording literally in my closet. I hadn't come out of it on the show, which is weird for me. Like I started coming out at 15. Um, I'm fairly obvious because I'm just bad at staying in the closet. Like you could see it from space. Um, and June came around and I was just like, you know what? Let's have this conversation. Let me put myself out there again. Um, and I wanted to do a giveaway. And so I found the Pride Patterns by Marta Schmarta on Ravelry, and her Pride patterns all benefit the Trevor Project.
Yeah.
And so I bought an extra copy of the pattern for that year, and um, ended up giving it away. And then I got a message from Marta Schmarta saying, "Hey, fan of the show, really love it. If you're gonna do a giveaway of one of my patterns, can you let me know first?" Because it was just a spur of the moment, last minute thing. So then 2024 comes around and I went, let's make it bigger. How do I make it bigger? Well, I have no idea. But let me see if Gary from Gary Knits, Gary Rides wants to do something, or we could come up with an idea and make something happen. Just to celebrate Pride, uplift LGBTQ businesses and causes. Because I don't care what people make. I knit. I've got tablet weaving off to the side. Mom's back here also knitting, but she's the crochet wonder in our family. Like I think on that first one, I said I don't care if people knit, crochet, wood carve, something, anything.
Yeah.
Anything, just, share a little joy. Share a little joy.
And it is, and that's where I wanted to, what on my channel was what I kind of talked about during June. It's supporting LGBT dyers, designers, makers, and trying to create some rainbows and some brightness and all my little bears. I said for those just joining, I'm going to try and crochet shortly, which probably isn't going to go well chatting and counting. So for now, we're binding off. I can manage that. That's easy. And yeah, and look how it's then grown. So I guess then Gary, obviously that's how you got involved.
Yeah. No, Peggy reached out to me last year, and for anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Gary, and I have a podcast, Gary Knits, Gary Rides, which grew out of me raising money over the last 6 or 7 years for HIV/AIDS services here in in California on a bike ride called the AIDS Life Cycle. This year was the last year of it. And so yeah, so I mean, I did knit-alongs and all sorts of fun sort of fundraising things in the fiber community. So this sort of like fit, right in there with like what I was doing. Unfortunately, the ride always happens the first month of June, and so I was like, yeah, I'm totally down to do something and let's raise some awareness. But I will be gone, gone and then exhausted for the first week.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did it and we put together a Ravelry group. We started collecting. The idea, I think, was, have LGBTQ plus podcasters sort of highlighting and spotlighting makers on their episodes, and then we collected, anyone who wanted, to sort of let us know that they were a yarn dyer or a pattern maker or a bag maker, notions maker, and we put together a spreadsheet that had all that information so folks could find it in one spot. And then we just kind of had a very low key, because at that point, quite frankly, I was so exhausted from having trained for a 7 day bike ride that I was like, I can't do anything major. But we just kind of had this low key, make along last year where there was very little rules in terms of like what you had to do, but just kind of use a yarn or a pattern from one of these, from any LGBTQ maker. And yeah, so it was just kind of fun and low key. And then Peggy reached back out this year, and to be, and I've said this to her, but to be frank, given everything that's going on in the world, my sort of like bandwidth for like organizing things and doing is just really, diminished. And I'm done with the bike ride thing, so my knit-alongs are not happening anymore. And I was just sort of like, do I really have the sort of energy to do this? But then as I, thought about it a little longer, I was like, um, it feels really important to me to, especially because of what's going on, not just in the US, but things that are going on around all over the world in different places where the community is coming under attack, to do something, however small, however low key, that just sort of uplifts the community, sort of spotlights us, like shows how much, amazing things that we're doing within the fire group community. So I said, to hell with it. We'll do it again. And, started putting things together. And then obviously you and Stefanos sort of jumped in as part of the team. And, again, the idea I think was to try to keep it low key. We're all busy folks with lots of other things going on. But just to do, whatever we can to kind of spotlight the great stuff that's going on in this community, and to spread a
Yeah.
little joy for a month and have some fun. So that's kind of where it is. But it's been great to see, even given how I'm feeling, and I know how other people, there's been a big increase in like sort of activity over on the Ravelry groups. There's a ton of really cool projects that people are working on, which have been really fun to see. A couple more podcasters, a couple more dyers have sort of raised their hand and said, "Yes, please put me on your list." So
Yeah.
that's all great. I think it's been fun.
And you're right, it's been so nice to see some of the projects that people um are making and submitting on the group. And it's one of those, there's so many things that I want to make and not enough time. I'm now trying
That
to plan my holiday knitting, which maybe we can talk about later, because I feel
yeah.
I'm not going to get any knitting done because I'm basically going to be riding roller coasters for 3 weeks. I say like, oh, well, I can like crochet in the queue, and my sister-in-law and my brother are like, what?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
like a 3 hour
yeah,
queue. That's
yeah,
3 hours of crafting.
yeah. It's free. It's free knit time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just grab yourself one of these little minder things and like strap it
Exactly.
to your wrist, and away you go.
Yes.
Uh, we did a charity walk for a homeless charity here in the UK with my work a couple of weeks ago, and it was a 12-mile walk or a 20-mile walk. Um, and my first thought was, well, how long is the 20 mile? And they're like, oh, about 6.5 hours. It's like, can I knit? And they were like, you can't walk and knit. It's like, I think you'll find I can. When I go to yarn shows, I walk and knit. And I was like, it feels like a waste of 6 hours not to be knitting. Um, so I took socks with me, and I had it on a little bag on my wrist, and I knit for 6 hours, and I knit the leg of a sock and about an inch on the second sock. And I was like, yeah, it was a talking point because people were like, are you knitting? Like, yeah.
I
Yes.
I love that. You see, and you're going, well, can I knit and walk for 6 hours? And I'm thinking, could I walk for 6 hours without knitting? No, I could not.
So I do have a question for you though. So like, does your tension change? It's like I know people that will walk in it, and I'm like, I feel like my tension would be wildly different, and I could only walk in it in a project.
I haven't checked it too much. So I did about half the ankle on one of the socks. So then when I started the knitting, I started the second sock so that I could just knit without needing to measure and stuff. So I haven't checked the tension. It looks okay from just a quick look at the eye. But because it's socks on, and I use double points, I
Oh,
feel like, and I am properly team double point. I love them. And I feel like therefore there was less give on the tension because it's just 24 stitches or whatever. Um, but we'll see when I get to try them on.
well, that's team B extra, knitting, doing double point needles while you're walking.
I
While
I
you're
just,
walking.
I cannot get my head around Magic Loop. It
I
just,
Uh,
support you.
oh, you double, no, yeah.
I I
Your
I
Magic
I,
Loop.
I double up because I'm afraid that if I will forget something that I do to one sock or sleeve, or whatever. And so if I don't double up, they turn out really different and wonky. This way,
I flip back and forth between Magic Loop and 9-inch circulars.
Okay. I've tried those before. I think I've got big hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's two. It is pretty. I've got small baby hands, and so they so far they haven't started to hurt my hands. I know that can be an issue for a lot of people is that they start to, they can cause your hands to hurt, but so far, knock on wood, it's not been a problem. So Stephanos, where are you and how did you uh get roped
Yeah,
into this?
get into this. Yeah. Last year was my first year doing this YouTube as as a podcaster. And Gary invited me to join the first Pride Pod Make Along. And I said yes right away. And Gary already has the resource, all the list of designers and makers and dyers. So I just emailed people. And from that, actually, I met really good, designers, and I still keep in touch with them. One of them is Jules Pickov from Boston. And I met Jules in Boston. We met during Rhinebeck also. But no, it's really a great a great idea, and also a great thing to have for the community, to support the community. Also, I'm not really good at organizing things, so that's when the idea is already formed. I'm like, yes, I'll jump into this. So yeah, I just want to say thank you, and for even continuing this. So when you said, yeah, we're doing it again, all right, I'll jump again into this thing. So yeah, but anyway, thanks again, and also welcome to everyone who's joining this Pride Pot Nickel. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and thanks, Martin. Thank you for allowing us to access your technological expertise in getting this thing up and running. If it, especially since I was traveling, if I'd had to try to put this together on the fly, we would have
No, you are very
had
welcome.
tin cans and strings. I think probably put to chat through.
No, you're welcome. The Zoom infrastructure is surprisingly stable. Like it's not one of these that keeps logging you out and resetting settings and stuff. Like, although I did at 9 o'clock, I did just quickly check that the YouTube and everything was all still linked, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was all just like, no, oh,
Mm.
it's quite, it's working, so we'll go with it.
yes,
Martin, I have to say, I'm sorry, go ahead. I have to say, I love double pointed needles. The most extra place I've knitted socks with double pointed needle was Cinque Terre last summer, right by the water. And one of the needles almost got into the water, but I saved it. But yeah,
oh
I
Yeah, we
love
don't want to
double
be doing
pointed.
that.
I think the only issue you might have is whether or not needles are allowed into the theme parks. That
Oh yeah.
Well, that's why
they may
I'm hoping. I have Googled it, and there are like Reddit comments and things that people saying, yeah, I knit in Disney all the time. But
yeah.
I'm thinking crochet is probably going to be
Hmm.
easier. Like I'm hoping all the bears will be done, for example. But to just do like a little bear, it's one tiny ball of wool in my pocket and a crochet hook. So I feel like it's much more portable.
what is your plan for taking the crochet on the roller coasters, though?
You
I
know,
was just thinking, I want to see you
that
crocheting
would be
on a
the
roller
On the
coaster.
roller coaster,
yeah.
yeah. Will your tension change then?
Yes, for
I'm on
sure.
Velociraptor trying to work out whether I'm holding the yarn or holding the seat.
Sounds like a TikTok challenge.
It really does. There's a social media campaign in there somewhere.
That's right. It's all about content.
It's all about everything's
What was it?
content.
Content is king, baby.
Absolutely.
Well,
I think
it'll definitely be a conversation starter.
Okay.
Every time I'm on a plane and knitting, I mean, at least one person stops to chat me up about what I'm working on and things like that. So I can only imagine in a 3 hour queue for a Velociraptor roller coaster what might
Yeah, exactly. Puppers has just on the YouTube has just made a good suggestion about finding a pattern and making a Mickey Mouse.
Oh, there you go.
See,
Yeah.
that could be a good idea.
Put some ears on one of the bears and turn them into little Pride Mickey Mouse.
Oh, word, yes. They could all become Mickeys. Or
Yeah.
I'm hoping I get them finished. I'm only on. I've only done five. My plan was like they're really easy. They'll be like half an hour. They're not. They're only about an hour and a half. But I think I've got a bit complacent about it's only an hour and a half and I can do the whole one. And now it's the 21st of June and I've only made 5 of the 13. So I really do need to put a shift in. But I've signed up. I was doing another test knit that I was like trying to make quite a lot of progress. And I love starting things and I'm not so good at finishing them. For those that watch my podcast, um, at one point I was up to about 20 whips. It's on a manageable 9, I think, now. I love it's the research and the pattern and the yarn. And I had a lovely time earlier trying to find raffia for Stephanie's hat so that I could I've now ordered grey and the natural colour. That's definitely going to be a holiday project. Crocheting a hat that I'm going to need to wear in the Florida sunshine.
Yeah, Stefanos, you combined two of my spring knitting. I don't want to call them disasters, but because I knew I was going to be at a lot of outdoor events. I found this raffia hat. It's like more like a sun hat. It's a bit
Yes,
like Audrey Hepburn kind of,
with
sitting in
this,
the
yeah.
sun and so I've tried to make that borderline disaster. And then I had
On
this Martin up north. I don't know if you've seen he has like a granny square bucket hat. Um
okay,
or it's a granny. I'll show it to you right here. Hold on one second. Um, and but the problem was, but it as you can see, I look like the Bill Cosby character that has the hat over his head because it was just way too big for me. But
too big. Okay.
yeah, but I mean, I like the design. But so yours combines two of the things that like have troubled me all spring. So I'm gonna, maybe
Oh
maybe the
no.
third time's the charm if I do your. Why don't you
Hopefully.
talk? I mean, if folks haven't seen it, why don't you talk about the pattern and how you
Yeah.
Yeah.
came up with it
Oh
and all that?
yeah. Well, before we go there, I just want to uh lead Martin to more ideas for the
Mm.
Disney thing. Have you It's a Small World After All towel by Tennis
Fingers crossed.
Gray?
Yeah.
No.
I put a link on the chat. You should check it out. And
Yeah.
it would be interesting if you work on it while you're on this in Disney.
All right. I need to find it.
So, but yeah, just while you're looking at it. But
Oh,
yeah, oh yeah, do you see it? Sorry,
yeah.
Martin.
It's cute.
Yeah,
Oh, I love it.
it's my friend Chester. I don't know if Chester is watching this, but he made it while he was in Disneyland. Which one is in California? But yeah, it turned out,
Yeah.
yeah, land, and that one is really nice. So yeah, if you need more ideas what to make.
This is going to be the problem. It's narrowing down the ideas, not getting more.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean,
Well, I
in
mean,
case your double pointed needle, you lost your double pointed needle, and you only have your circular needle, that could be what it's for.
yeah, because do
But
not go into Florida water after your double point needle. It's gone. The alligators have it. Not worth
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. We will not be going anywhere near anything like that. I'll be staying in Disney. It's safe, I'm assuming. There's no alligators in Disney.
And my favorite headlines from Florida every year are when the alligators shut down the airport because they're on the runways.
Oh
Yep.
wow.
oh
No
my
way.
God. Uh,
Even
Okay.
Americans are confused by Florida man. Yes. Even East Coasters were like, we have no idea what's going on down there. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But how many days are you going to be in Disney?
We're away. I've got 18 days off work. We've got 3 full weeks.
Okay.
We fly on Monday the 7th, I think it is. And then
Okay.
we fly back 3 weeks Monday into Tuesday.
Okay.
So
And how
we're
many
doing
You've got how many project ideas?
Oh, at the moment, about 4 or 5, including taking a
That's
sweater.
not enough.
I've started a jumper and I'm now just knitting the body. I'm like, that's a great plain project. But so is Stephanis's hat. I
Hmm.
kind of feel like
Oh.
some kind of like travel journal shawl, start something in the airport and then
Mm.
see how much. There's probably going to have to be bears because I want to finish them. I've got so I can. It'll all come down to how much basically Mark will then pack because I'm not the packer.
Mm.
I'm very bad at packing. So I'll put all the things on the bed that I want to take, and then he will say to me, "You've got this space." That will probably determine what gets taken as my holiday project. It's what I can carry in my hand luggage and what space he's prepared to give me in the suitcase.
Mm.
I think,
Ziploc will compress
That's
better
yes,
right.
in plastic bag.
yes.
Oh, yes, I could do that. Then I could get more project. Yeah.
Yeah. I think my what is it, the general rule I have for holiday knitting, vacation knitting, one project per day plus an extra, just in case.
That means I can start all of the projects then. I haven't
Right.
got
Yeah,
whips yet for that.
yeah. I don't get them all finished, but
No,
or
same.
started, but
Although I
yeah,
am very close to finishing a project while we're talking, so we're nearly there now. This is
that
momentum.
cowl looks awesome. That is great.
I'll share
What
it now. When I've cast it off,
okay.
I'll share.
Yeah.
Stephanus, you want to tell us about your
Oh,
hat?
yeah, sure. It's just a bucket hat that I decided to share the pattern with the community for the month of June. But I call it equality because there's this equal sign sort of design element there. But it's just a mesh, what do you call this? Mesh stitch, where you do double chain stitch, double chain, stitch, double chain. You start from the top with double chain, increase, and then side, and then your brim. Yeah, I made all the way from 21-inch circumference to 26 and a half. So Gary, this 26 and a half reminded me of your of the one that you just showed, but actually that's what I really wanted to begin with. So as you can see,
Mm.
this is really huge.
Yeah.
But on the beach, it's really nice because I don't like it too tight when it's so hot outside. So like the wind will go through the hat. But this one, the 25-inch,
Oh,
is
that's great.
exactly my hat size. So in the pattern, it goes from 21 to 26 and a half, and there are four different sizes, so you can choose whichever your sizes. But yeah, I decided also to donate to the Trevor Project. Although it is free, I just realized that Ravelry, there's a count, like a download counter. So just based on the download counter, I will just multiply it by $1. So
Mm.
yeah, so yeah, just to support the community. Again, I find it that the least organizing activity with organization needed to support the community. But yeah, that's what it is.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, I think the raffia is good for that because it has a little more structure than the cotton wool that I was using, which is kind of floppy anyway. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, but I
And
I think maybe I'll take my raffia. Whose raffia did you use?
so I use ISPI, and um I just so ISPI, the main distributor for the East Coast or in New York is Nitty City in New York City.
Okay.
And then yeah, one of the person who distribute or confirm that they're the sole distributor for Prada. So, so all the like the raffia hats that Prada is producing or is using their raffia.
Okay.
Anyway,
All
uh,
right.
but I think there are other raffia. I think Wool and the Gang has
Yeah,
one.
that's the
I
one
don't
that I
know
use.
which one you got.
Yeah, that's the one I got. It was because it was a kit. The hat was the kit. But again, they only had one size. So I think it'll be nice. I just need to rip it out and like do, a smaller circle to begin with and then make the crown a little shorter. It's just,
Yeah.
typical of me. I was like, "Oh, I want to have this done for spring." And so I'm gonna do it. And then I didn't build in enough time to like rip it out 8 times and redo it. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's okay. Um,
The
oh, that's
Prada hat came up in discussion today because we went holiday shopping today and we went to a
Ooh.
village a couple of hours away from us, and they've got a Prada outlet there. So we just went in to have a look, and they had some of the hats on the tables. And Mark picked it up. He's like, "Oh, this is really nice. What do you think?" I was like, "No, no, because that's made by someone like equality for the maker and all the rest of it." And when we looked at it, it was £680 sterling, which is about $900 for this hat. And I went, we don't need that. I've ordered Raffia to make one for me. I'll make one for you as well. I said, you don't need to spend $900 with Prada. I'll make you one. So it came up in conversation while we were out shop. I couldn't believe how much money. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, 600
Yeah.
quid for a hat is that's up there. That's
Yeah. That
Yeah.
seems a little.
And I mean, you crochet a lot, right, Martin? You can finish this in 4 hours total. Like maybe three sittings, like one point some two some or 1.5 hour per sitting, you'll
Yeah.
finish it.
Well, this is what I'm hoping, that it might be a good plane project, because there's also, again, content, bald person, I need a hat to get to Florida. So I have to finish this hat before I get off the plane.
Yeah, no, it will finish. And also somebody used cotton on the Ravelry. They make a project note or whatever they call it, and they put a picture of the finished product. So if you want to see what it looks like in cotton, it's there as an example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom here to the side who also has a similar hat. Misadventure? Adventure? What do you want to call that?
Which hat?
The one that you made from the vintage straw yarn that
Oh,
you found.
the high straw.
The high straw from before I was born.
Oh, I've had that high straw since I was in high school.
Yeah.
It was old. But I like
But you like this one.
I like this hat pattern. So I need to source the raffia. Yes.
Mhm.
Oh.
And I would, because my head size is sort of in between.
Yeah.
I would probably make it slightly larger, run a ribbon through the bottom, row of openings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bow in the back,
Yeah.
and that way it fits exactly.
I'll be right back. I have the perfect ribbon.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, this is a problem solving Zoom call.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that
I have the
ribbon.
ribbon. It's the one together
Oh,
camera pride ribbon.
oh, cool.
Pride
Wow.
ribbon
I like the ribbon.
on theme.
Yes. And that would probably
That's perfect.
crochet.
Yeah.
That would fit perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really
Or
nice.
I could even make that row a triple crochet, a treble. In US terms, it's a treble. In British terms, it's a double.
Yeah.
I have no
Oh.
idea. You're
Oh,
Make
yeah.
the bottom row where the brim is a little bit taller to fit that ribbon.
That would
So-
look
So
amazing.
the
Oh.
ribbon didn't crunch.
the ribbon is listed at 7/8 inch wide or 2.2 centimeters because I am of the opinion that the US needs to hashtag go metric.
Hmm.
Can we please standardize?
Yes. And actually that hat would be great for Florida. You need sun screen
Oh,
on
yeah.
every exposed millimeter of skin.
Yeah.
And that would be great to
Mhm.
keep your ears from being burned.
Mom,
That hat's great.
My nephew is 3.
Mom,
and
I
Mom is
think that's
momming for
great.
sure here.
Mum is more, yeah.
I'm a mom.
My nephew is 3, and he and I will be in every possible bit of shade literally baked in SPF 50.
50 is not enough. You got to go 70 or higher, sweetie.
70 or
Is there a higher? I don't think we do
and
higher in the
hydrate.
Hydrate.
And hydrate, because Florida is very humid,
Mm.
and with all the screaming and yelling on the roller coasters, you will get dehydrated quickly. And then you'll get sick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mama's where I get my Southern from, and we hydrate so we don't dehydrate.
I'm a mom.
Oh.
Mhm. I hope YouTube doesn't cancel that. Oh my God.
I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, they started all kinds of taking things out, right? The other reason I do like all of my own audio editing and hosting and so forth. No one can tell me what I
What to
can't.
say?
Yeah.
No one's the boss of you.
No one can tell me not to use 4-letter words. Except my mother,
Except your
who
mother.
is sitting right there.
Someone has asked on the YouTube for Stephanus the link to your pattern. So I'm going. Oh, they've asked if you wrote the pattern. So I'm going to pop the link in now.
Oh, thank you.
I'll pop the link in the chat.
Oh, and Poppers is asking. Yes, I'm in the LA area, south of LA. So my local yarn store is Knitting Tree LA. But I've been the yarn crawl was recently, so I've been to many of them, but LA being LA, to get to Pasadena, as Valerie Voigt knows, because we did our own little mini yarn crawl when she was visiting. You can spend the day crisscrossing LA County trying to get to the different oh, and Jenny knows too, because she's out east of here, how far things can be. So that's the one that's closest to me, and it's a nice store. Since we have a relatively manageable group, maybe we should just go around and let y'all introduce yourselves and tell us where you're from, and maybe this is where if you have it with you, kick off showing us what you're working on for your for the make along. So I'll kick it off, and then each of you can choose the next victim. So Jenny, you're under me, so why don't you kick us off?
Okay, so I'm Ginny. I live in Upland, which is halfway between LA and Palm Springs, vaguely. And for my Pride project, I am working, and I started this on June 1st, but I have not worked on it lately, and there's a reason. This is called Pride Like the Wind.
Ooh.
And it's by Amy Snell. So the next color will be red, and then we go into the rainbow.
Okay.
And then there's a speckled that goes to the end. So it's a real pretty pattern. I've had it in stash for a couple of years. So I decided to get that out and get it done. Right now, and like I said, I haven't worked on it because I'm working on these sheep for a child. So
Oh,
they're
They're adorable.
that's this stuff that I don't love, but I decided to make 3 of them. They need to be done. Monday, I leave on a trip across country, so that's when this is going to get hopefully done. I mean, there is a massive drive to Minnesota, so I hope in that time I can get at least to the yellow or green, maybe, so
Googly moogly. That's a drive.
it is a drive. It's 3 days, but we're in an RV. So,
Okay.
and I never leave the vehicle. The husband drives and I drive for maybe an hour. So that's when this is going to get, and I'll post pictures. We'll see how far I get both there and back.
I'm going to try to drop the patterns into the chat as people mention
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. And this was a kit from Pearly Shell, and I don't think she has the kit anymore, but it's rainbow colors within the pink and the blue speckle, and then the black so it's all of the inclusivity colors. So
I see. Oh, it's really pretty when it's all put together. I see.
yeah, it is a pretty one. It's got all the inclusivity colors, but slightly different take on it.
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
it.
Can we just go back to the sheep for a moment? Tell us more about the sheep.
Please. Sorry.
Oh, we'll get back to the sheep. Yeah, the sheep
Yeah,
is
tell
like
us about the sheep, Ginny.
I
well,
really like
So I've got my niece. So when I'm going to visit, my niece's 6-year-old daughter has to have open heart surgery. So I decided to make the sheep is from. So that's the picture of the sheep, and
Oh
that's
my
from this book here.
Oh,
So
Very-
it's just working with
Is that
this
Bernat
stuff.
baby? Yeah.
It's not
Oh, Bernat
it's
blanket.
just like
Yeah.
Joann's. I got a ton of this on clearance, when Joann's was still around. So yeah, it's whatever their brand name of Bernat baby is. I'm so sick of working with this yarn. I just like you did with your blanket. You can
Yes,
only do
yes,
so
yes.
much. So yeah,
No,
this is the
it
last.
has no give. It has no give at all to it. It's just like,
No, no. It's just hard. This is the last one, and then I have to stitch them all together and stuff them. So I'll be done, you know. So everything else is done. So that's it for me.
oh, that's sweet. Okay, you get to choose who's next.
Oh, who do I know? Well, I know Valerie. Valerie's right under me. So
Okay, so I'm Valerie, and I live in a small city in southern Bolivia called Tarija. And for this knit along, I am working on a woolly wormhead hat. I don't know if any of you are familiar, well, probably everybody's familiar with woolly wormhead, but they have a collection of hats in a book that's called Cuboidal, and they're all made out of mitered squares. So I have a hard time showing this on a Zoom because the colors kind of, but I'm using a bunch of different yarn. It's also a scrappy project for me. From one of Gary's knit-alongs when he was raising money for AIDS Life Cycle, I won a bag of 10 mini skeins from Twisted Ambitions. And I used about half of all the variegated ones in a tee that I knit, and I had half of all those mini skeins left over, plus some solid color mini skeins that I hadn't used at all. So I'm using a pink solid in all of my mitered squares, but I've used one one of the leftover colorways on the crown, one of the leftover colorways on the first row around, and now I'm working on the second row around. It's very similar, but it's a different colorway, and then it'll be a different one for the brim. In this collection, they have 8 different hat designs. I'm doing the one that is to look like a beret. It doesn't look like a beret right now. It looks like, 9 square on the crown, but
Yeah.
the brim will have fewer mitered squares around it to pull it in, and so I'm thinking it's going to look like a beret. So that's what I'm doing.
What's it called?
It's called Bedrock. The ebook is called, or the book, I think they also have it out in print form. The book is called Cuboidal, but this
Cuboid.
particular design from Cuboidal is called Bedrock. There are 8 different hat designs. There's
Okay.
another one that's just like a regular beanie. There's one that they call a helmet. There's one that's got 4 funky points on the top of the hat. All different, 8 different patterns in this one book called Cuboidal. This is the one called
Got it.
Bedrock.
I see it here.
And Gary, if you're popping patterns into the chat, could you put Stephanus's
Yeah,
hat pattern in here also in the Zoom chat, please?
sure.
Thank you. And this looks complicated, but
I'm
it
trying.
is so easy once you get the hang of it. It is so easy.
I was really lucky to be to get Woolly on my channel to interview them when their book came out, and honestly, just the way that their mind works to get some of those hat designs, it's just, yeah, it was a wonderful chat that we had when the short row color book.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I got that.
Absolutely.
I just got, and you just did a hat, didn't you? You just did something for a cowl or something, Valerie, didn't you? From the short row color work?
Late last year, I did one of their
It's amazing.
sideways short row colorwork hats for my niece as a Christmas gift. Yeah.
Also, Team
Gary,
I see.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Thank you, Stephanos.
Their woolly is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay,
Who
you're
you
picked,
next?
Valerie.
Oh, I'm picking. Okay. How about Jeff?
So I realized I can't share what I'm working on because
Oh
it's a secret
no! Oh, a
test knit.
secret project.
But
Now
it
we all
is by
get
an
close so we
LGBT
know.
designer. So Jimmy Does Knitting has a sweater that's coming out next year.
Oh,
And I'm
fun.
working on that. So what I will probably do to submit for the pod is I'll do another one of his hats. So I bought a couple of his hats that he put on sale. The Does Diamond is what I will be doing. The rest of my time has been spent knitting a blanket for my sister. So my sister gets married at the end of the month.
Congratulations,
I
Jason.
made.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
cow.
Is that
Wow.
a hue shift?
Yeah,
Wait,
that's a Hue
totally
Shift
new
Afghan.
Wow.
And it's the pastel one.
Mm.
I loved it. It was a lot of fun. But like you said, Valerie, I saw yours on Instagram and I was like, oh, that's so cool. I would never have thought to make a hat out of mitered squares. And then obviously the Hue Shift kit helped me with this. I did not pick these colors, but um, that's where most of my time's been the last couple of months. So,
Is that knit, is it done modularly and joined, or do you join as you go? I mean, do you...
so you do a panel. So basically, there's four squares. You do each one, you do the row. So
Okay.
one row, and then the next row attaches, and then you attach the four together, and then you add the seam, or not the seam, you add the border all the way around.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and the stripes, so everyone's got the multicolored stripes, like it just goes by so fast. Each square is like 30, 45 minutes, and you're like, oh, I can do one more, I can do one more, I can do one more. So
Wait,
Best patterns. One more square, one more square.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
same with the hat.
And then I have to hop because we are supposed to be going to dinner shortly. But I just want to come in and say hi, and I will pass over to Shannon and hopefully hear what you're working on.
Okay, so I'm in the middle of a row and I'm actually working on like 8 projects for this month. So, because I couldn't decide what to cast on. But I'm not very far because I'm knitting a whole bunch. But this is the long range shawl with yarn from Fiber Hustle Journey, the Journey album. And I think the pattern maker is Don Harrington. I think that's his name.
I'm sorry, what's it called? I'll look it up.
The front
Long
range
front
shawl.
range.
Front range. Yeah, like Colorado front range. So it starts off with this, and then it'll have a second color below. But I love Journey. I love that album, and they're really fun colors. So
Yeah, they're great colors.
yeah.
Yeah, Donnie Harrington. Here it is.
Donnie. Okay.
Is it a big shawl?
It is a pretty big shawl. Yeah. It'll kind of has the main color scoop, and then it'll have like some stripes here, and then it'll have a big swath underneath. So it looked like a good way to contrast this yarn. So,
Well, and Shannon, speaking of your 8 projects, as I saw you just posted a by Jeff. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Jeff.
I was gonna announce it anyway, and you're here. So you won this week's giveaway prize in the Ravelry group. So you have a skein of yarn and some
soap.
Some soap coming. Yes, a different one. Different one from the last one. Yeah, no, I had so this one from Soap Co.
Oh, that is very nice. Yeah. I like that.
Cute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They did they're out of Edmonton, and they did that one, which is part of the regular thing, and then they this year's Pride soap was this one, and it's called Marsha for Marsha P. Johnson.
Nice.
And they were there, sorry. And they were doing sale proceeds were going to a local LGBTQ youth organization. So that was a cool thing.
And what was the name of that company again?
This company is called soapco.com. And they're yeah, soapco. So oh hey, and Jay joined. Hey Jay. I don't
Okay.
maybe just be on audio, and I don't know if you can if you are able to tell us what you're working on or in the chat or anywhere.
We've got a howdy in the chat.
There
Oh,
you go. Well,
Sorry, I was trying to get my headphones on.
no worries.
Take your time.
Ta-da! There we go.
Hey.
I mean, I'm not really working on anything Pride related, but I am working on a Stephen West. I'm trying to do all of the mystery knit-alongs.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
So I'm going back and doing one that I didn't do because I didn't want to do it in the first place, but doing a very Halloween forward.
yeah.
those of us doing it live didn't really want to do it. It's probably my least favorite. I'm a big West knit mystery knit along. I love the surprise, and you've got to take the
Highs
down.
and lows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. And so I went back and did this one. I think this is my seventh one now. I did Starflake out of order, and then I just did oh, I can't think of what it's called. Exploration Station. I just finished it
Yeah.
before this one. So yeah, that's fun. But that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's the one that I threw the towel in on. I got through like Clue 2 and I was like part of it was my color choices and I was just like I liked them when I had them together, but once I started knitting them up I'm like this looks wrong, and so I was just like
I think that was part of my problem. And I got all the way through the center the first time I did it. And then I was like, then the next clue came out and I was like, I don't want to do that. And I was like, maybe the third clue is going to be good. And then it was not pleasant. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna rip this out, use the yarn for socks instead, and moved on with my life. And now I'm back 3 years later, or whatever, 2 years later.
Like I love my finish one because it's all like browns and like dark oranges. It was a kit from Labby NMA and it's really lovely. But the process of going through it, I realized then my pearl tension is massively different to my knit tension when we were picking the wings up. I was
Mm.
purling the one wing and I was looking at it and I remember taking a photo of it and I sent it to Linda, Steven's test knit coordinator. I was chatting to her on Instagram and she's like, "What have you done?" I was like, "No, I'm just purling." And then we realized how bad my pearl tension was compared to my knit. It was like there was a whole load of things. And like that first week, it was a lot of cast on, cast off. And then once you finished it, you're like, "Oh, it's beautiful." Like the way the ladders all cut, but the process of getting there, it just, yeah, there was lots of things that made me not like that shawl.
Tension gets you every time. Every
That's
time.
right.
Backwards.
Trust the
Mom
process.
does
Tony?
it
I love the
backwards.
finish shawl.
I'm gonna love this one when it's done, but it's gonna look like Jailhouse, I think, probably when all is said and done.
No, I'm
The
loving
mo-
the Halloween vibes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the Halloween vibe too. It's very Beetlejuicean.
Yeah.
So Tony, what are you working on?
Hi, Tony.
Sock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
A
Fellow
sock.
sock knitter.
Yeah. That's
It looks like it's more than just a plain vanilla sock. It looks like it has some texture, yeah?
yeah, there's a little bit of rib. A little rib. Who is
Oh, I
I
can't
think
use
it's
it.
who is it? I think it's the crazy sock lady.
Okay.
The morning
Okay,
coffee, good morning coffee or something.
Nice. And what's the yarn?
The yarn is from Yarnable. It's one of the Yarnable. I think it was March, maybe April.
Okay.
April.
Excellent.
Is it for
Were
you?
you
No,
calling
gift.
or-
Just a gift.
no, where are you coming from?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
I know, Sean. Hmm.
Very nice. You guys are all in the heat band there on the East Coast right now.
super, super hot, like 93 degrees, I think it is.
Oof.
Yeah. We were hitting up there, yep.
The Brit now converts that to Celsius.
Tony, I found the morning coffee socks pattern. I put the link both in the Zoom and in the YouTube in case anyone is interested.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow, thank
Oh,
you.
well, thank you.
I forgot to what's the name? Jay, what's the name of that Stephen West? We'll pop it in there, but I forget the name of that one.
Yes, there's that too.
This one's Twists and Turns.
Twists and Turns. Okay.
And it was.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm not brave enough to do it. Stephen West Mystery Knit Along, so I covet them. I want to, and then I look at like the first clue or like and I'm like, nope, I'll sit this one out. And the ones that I think I could do, I learn about once they're done.
Martin's always my inspiration to keep going because it's always during like Vlogtober or whatever.
Yeah.
So you do like your progress like every day or however many times a week or whatever. And I'm
Feel like we're in it together.
Oh, man.
You guys keep
And
me
then you're
going.
doing-
So I'm like, I'm just going to stop otherwise, and then I've got no content. So I'm going to have to keep going.
But then you're doing 2 at once or something crazy like that.
I did try that last year. I did finish 2, but no, I think it was the year that we restarted. So I was like, by the Sunday evening, I'd nearly finished Clue 1. And then we did the whole reset thing. So if we hadn't, I would have been able to do the second one. And I'd have at least finished week 1 having 2 shawls. But it's fine. I did make 2 in the end. But it took me a year to finish.
I think my first year I tried to keep up and I got pretty well done. That was shawlography.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was just like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to try to keep up. And I've kind of been one off, one on in terms of like doing them live or kind of waiting to see how they turned out. So, yeah. So last year I did.
It is a lot of knitting in a week. Like,
it is.
No
it is.
get around it.
Last year instead
so.
I did a Stephen West knit along that was not the shawl, like it was just called the Go West cowl. So it was like work on if you don't want to if you don't want the pressure of the cowl, join our cowl where you can work on any Stephen West project you want, and we'll do
let them do them.
Yeah, exactly. I'll let the crazy ones do their madness over there, and we're gonna. So, but I think this year I'm gonna jump back in. So you and Arena and the West Knits crew are inspire me to
I feel like so I've done 6 maybe, and I think I've only kept up once. Like I finished the 4th clue the week after the 4th clue came out. All the other ones they're usually December into January, sometimes even February, March. Like it is I'm definitely embrace your pace. Because it's a lot of knitting, and then you come out and it's into November, and then it's kind of the run up to Christmas and the holiday, and it's a lot. But I definitely feel like, because loads of people will say to me, "Oh, I'd love to do it, but I can't." It's like if you're an adventurous beginner, like if you can knit purl, increase, decrease, you can absolutely join in. Because if there's a simple technique, he'll have a video to show you how to do that technique. If it's quite a tricky technique, he'll usually have a cheat. If there's brioche in it, there's a non-brioche option. Like I feel like it's
his step-by-step videos are just so amazing for anyone who's not, and I often have to go back and look at them to figure out how, when you get to the end of the iCard, what is it you're supposed to do? You're reversing them and then kitchening them. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Kitchening them together.
Oh, yeah. You do that a lot on this one if you want to practice that. Twists and turns is the one to
do. Making video for instruction of a pattern takes a long time. So I decided to make instruction for my free pattern. Oh my, it is a long time to do that. I was like, yeah, I had to do it in 3 days for just a hat. So I cannot even imagine to make an entire video for the whole, big shawl. That's a lot.
And that's it. It's just like the timing and the organization it takes, because often he's still designing it. Like I think he again, we were really lucky that Irina and I interviewed him one year, and he said in some years he's finished like 8 weeks before it's with the testers. It's really straightforward. And there's been the odd year that like the testers are starting clue 1 and he's still working on 4 because he's changed the stuff. And that's a whole level of organization then, to think that you're trying to do that and at the same time film the clean version of it. And yeah, it's a lot.
It is funny though, when I worked on exploration station. It was an early one, and the quality of videos as it went on was much improved, like to like the newer ones that have much more production value. But you could hear like the dogs running around in the background and street noise, and it was just like a one shot. Here's what we're doing,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But
I
good for
also
yeah, I could imagine it's a lot of work.
I also feel like they've got more adventures. Like if you think about Exploration Station, because I did that one over Christmas, and I loved doing it. And it was almost a simple Westnet. It was a great shape. It was the short row. There was a little bit of a brioche set. It feels like the Westnet Shoals now for the mission it along. He's really upped.
Yeah. It was
The
also a smaller, it
craziness.
was also a smaller shawl. It wasn't like one of these schlankety things that like covers the whole back of your
Oh, they're
sofa.
my favorite. Give me a 1,000 stitch bind off in week 4, and I'm
A thousand stitch
done.
I-cord bind off. I'm in.
No, I love myself for no. Mm-mm.
How about weaving in ends, Martin? Do you like that too? So 1,000 ends?
I've weaved in my ends, as I'm done. I
Okay.
finished and I did my ends.
Ooh.
All right.
Look at you.
We know who
Finish
to
Sandy.
send.
Hi,
Hi,
Sandy.
Sandy.
I'll send mine to you so you can do them.
Yes.
That's right. We have a woman on our Thursday. Valerie and Jenny and Shannon and I do our Thursday night Zoom group, or Tuesday night, Thursday night. I can't remember. It's Thursday night, right? And
Hi.
we have a woman who loves to weave in ends, and we're like, oh, we will send you all of our projects, and you can just give it back to us whenever. What are you
That's
working on, Sandy?
Did we lose you, Sandy?
Are we there?
Not
We
muted.
Well, I wanted to share a picture of something that I want to make. I kind of fell on this in the middle of when I was working on a scarf that was designed. Uh, can you not hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wanted to show the picture. I have a family friend. I've known him since he was a baby. And he and my daughter were adopted the same time. We're in the same adoption group. They're both from China. And there's a real delay on here. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It happens.
Go ahead.
I changed my speaker. I don't know if that will help or not.
we can
It
hear you. Yeah,
works.
we can still
We
hear
can
you.
hear you really clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anyway, he is a trans male, and he won the there was a reality show called The Climb.
Oh.
Mm.
I think I vaguely remember that one.
I'm not sure what it is.
It says an 8-episode reality TV series that pits 10 climbers against each other in multiple climbing scenarios and styles.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, he won. He won.
Wow.
And was able to
Amazing.
use that kind of as a platform to talk about his journey.
Okay.
And I found a piece of art that is a cat climbing a mountain. I don't know.
Sounds cute.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry about the delay. I don't know if you were hearing double talking here.
No,
No,
no.
what are you hearing?
No, we're not. We're just hearing you singly.
Everything's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
I found a piece of art that is a cat climbing a mountain, or like a cliff.
Mhm.
And it's got stripes in the background, and I want to make those in his colors, or the pride colors.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was hoping there'd be someone that knows of a program I could use to chart like a crochet or knit pattern. I looked online, and the one I found didn't work very well. I wanted to share the picture. I can email it maybe to
Would it be
Gary.
like would it be like stranded color work, or?
No, it could be like it's a very simple pattern, and it could be like a Tunisian or something like that, crochet. It'd be really easy to do.
Sandy, I've just made you a co-host.
You could
so you
share
should
your
be able to
screen.
share your picture now.
Can I share now?
Yeah, try sharing it now. I've just made you a co-host.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can do that.
While you're working on that, Sandy, Chartminder is a program where you can put your picture and they'll turn it into stitch pattern. I don't know if you've tried that before. It is Chartminder.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty.
Nice.
I don't know what's going on with the puppy and the cat, but it's
That's
this.
fine. Yeah, we could see.
Yeah,
We can see.
we can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
And he goes by Cat.
So that's
Oh,
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Say Chartminder.
Yeah, Chartminder.
And you're thinking the
So
colors of the trans pride flag behind the cat in silhouette? Oh, that's gonna look awesome. That's gonna look
So the stripes,
yeah,
will be the way you'll change those colors into the pride colors.
Yeah.
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 Okay, I wrote that down.
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't, because I've used
that's
Stitch Fiddle, but that's more just
Yeah,
like for cables and things like that. You really wouldn't do a
I
pattern.
think that's what I tried, Gary, was
Yeah.
Stitch Fiddle. I tried one and it just didn't seem to work.
Yeah. It's
Okay,
pretty,
now
it's more for just knits and pearls and things. To do a color work pattern, I think you'd want something different.
yeah.
yeah. And also you can specify your knitting, like the size of the product you want. And from there, you can figure out how many stitches it's going to be, like let's say in the total width, and how many rows in the total height. And then from there, you place that into the software and it will calculate the resolution based on your gauge and based
okay,
on the picture. And oh, yeah,
can I reach out to you separately, and then maybe you
yeah,
can help me figure it
yeah,
out? I'd really appreciate
yeah.
it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Gary, how are we going to share information? You can check out Instagram, I guess, Gary's Instagram or Martin's or
You should, while you're both in the Zoom, one of you should be able to private message
oh
the other.
yes.
You can do it in the chat
Yes.
here privately.
I'll do that.
Technology is amazing, but I don't understand it.
Well, while that's going on, we never got to talk about what we're making. So, Peggy, what are you working on?
Oh gosh, I've had a number of projects for Pride Pod Mel this year.
Cool.
On the double points, I did finish a pair of socks.
Oh,
These
the
are
downhill both ways.
Downhill both ways. But I have the book in front of me, so I can just pop that over. By Megan Williams. Both socks.
Those are so fun.
I heard you guys talking about that on the pod. Those turned out great.
Yes. I finished them faster than I thought I was going to, and then my brother started as my audio editor and then left me on my own. But he helps me pick out yarn as I work through the book Operation Sock Drawer from the Knitmore Girls. And that's what I'm working on right now, is these are the Sadal socks.
Oh, wow.
By Cheryl Toy. And the yarn is, I have a label.
Bright.
Off camera. See, I don't do things on camera. I do them in front of a microphone. No one can see me dodging for things. This is from Knitty and Color. And I picked this up at a Maryland Sheep and Wool years and years and years ago, before 2020, and it's been sitting in my yarn hoard, just waiting. And we had to do it. It is called Milky Way. It's in their acoustic sock base. That was Mr. Kickass going out to the garage. And it is bright freaking rainbows, and I couldn't resist.
That's so cool.
Beautiful.
It's neon rainbows, and I love it. And its time came. We're like, is it
Nice.
finally rainbow socks time? It's finally rainbow socks time.
Does it glow in the dark? The
They
yarn?
don't. They
Oh.
don't. But they don't need to, because you could
Yeah.
see them from like a mile
Oh
away.
yeah. Yes.
Or 2-point-something kilometers.
That's awesome.
I love them so much.
How was the downhill both ways socks to knit? Were they hard?
No,
Okay.
they were so fast. It lived up to its name. It was mostly stockinette, but in the round, so it's just knitting. And then like the bulk of the length came from German short rows. So you like make a wedge, make a section, make another wedge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
Like
You see.
make a wedge,
Yeah.
make a
Yeah.
section, make another wedge. And then your foot is done when my foot was done. Your foot might be different.
Your feet will vary.
Your feet will vary, says Mama Kickass back there. You
Excellent.
gave me good feet. I like them.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And the other thing I was working on to the side is I'm making a proto tablet woven belts for Mr. Kickass. That is still on its contraption. This is just my test.
Oh, right.
Come on, background, work with me. Work with me, camera. Yeah, this is why I have
Oh, love that.
yeah. Sorry.
I've
I will
never heard
take pictures.
tablet weaving. I've never heard of it.
Tablet weaving.
Wait, what is that? What will that be? Again?
This was a test.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to make him a belt.
Oh,
Okay. Cool.
Between 2.5, like 3 meters long for his Ren Fair costume. And it's based on an Latvian tradition
Okay.
that I'm trying to find a pronunciation guide. And I don't have one pulled up because I don't do things with notes.
There's no preparation.
Yeah, no.
It's live nonsense. I need everything to.
This is on the internet, no one can tell me that I'm wrong on the internet. And what are you working on, Mom?
It reminds me of guitar. What do you call that? You
like
know,
a guitar strap. Yeah.
Yes, guitar straps. Yeah, that would be nice too. Yeah.
And then I also made some of these
Oh, right.
progress
Oh, that's beautiful.
colors, like keychains.
Cool.
Those are really cute.
That I'll be giving away throughout June.
Nice.
For people who participate in the Pride Pod Month. Go post, y'all.
That's right. Go post.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting one.
Yes, you are.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm going to post the finished objects thread in the chat on the YouTube.
Yes.
And for those little ones, I will also be pulling from any post tagged with hashtag PridePodMal 2025
Nice.
on Instagram or Tumblr. I want both. Stick it up on Blue Sky. I don't care. Like, have fun.
Oh,
Steph,
Mama Kick-Ass. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was gonna ask what you brought on your for your vacation knitting. That's if you brought any of your Pride Pod Mal projects.
Uh, yeah, of course. I'm still stuck in the crochet land. I cannot get out of crochet land, and I've bought too many of these raffias, so I'm making another hat. So by tomorrow, I
Everyone in the
have
house is getting a hat.
Yeah.
yes. So
You
I
get a
already
hat.
gave
You get a hat.
my friends their hats, but I gave them 2 days after we're here, so I don't want too many pictures of us wearing the same hat. So, but tomorrow I will have a metallic gold bucket hat. So,
Wow.
Yes.
but yeah. But Peggy, you said Mama Kick-Ass is working on something?
Yeah, Mama Kick-Ass is over here also knitting.
Oh, actually, I'm tinking.
Oh,
Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh,
I
no.
wrote too many.
Uh-oh.
whoops.
Uh-oh.
It's not here. Hold on. It's not a particularly pride project. Because I'm not at my house. I'm at
Okay.
daughter's house.
Come on, background. Do
But
the
it's a pattern that I've kind of got stuck in my head. It's the 1898 hat.
Oh,
sorry about
Let
the
me
is that
see.
the
lighting.
one with the flaps, with the ear
Yeah, with
flaps?
the ear flaps.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
And you do the brim flat and fold it in half.
Yes.
Because I've got one ear flap.
Yeah, Kristen.
Yeah, see there's one ear flap.
Nice.
You do the brim and garter, you fold it in half, you pick up around the edge, and then you do the helmet head in stockinette, stocking stitch, but it's in the round, so it doesn't make any difference. And it's a really rote pattern, 9 rows of garter, increase 1 stitch each side of the middle for 9 rows, do 3 even, decrease 1 stitch back to your base, do 24 rows, do it again, seam it up, and there's your brim. It's easy. I don't have to have the pattern in my hand all the time.
Yeah.
It's a great travel project for that.
Mhm.
And it's about can we mention names?
Yes, you can mention.
Red Heart Stashed Black.
There you go, Red Heart. You owe my mother money.
Basically, these are mostly charity hats for our church. We do a lot with homeless people.
Mhm.
People coming in, I'm cold, I need to use the bathroom. Here's a hat, stay warm.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's what these are.
Yeah. And I also looked up if anyone is in the mid-Atlantic region of the US, the local yarn store to get Stephanus's the raffia.
Oh, yes. That's gonna be my next project.
This pie raffia is an fiber space in Alexandria. They have it listed as a local yarn store down here.
Ooh.
And available. So
that is going to be my next project. I like your hat.
Mama Kick-Ass, let me know if you have questions.
I will.
Please.
But it looks very straightforward. I always have trouble with the brim on hats.
Yes. Let me know if you have questions. I feel bad if people are just like annoyed with my writing, so please.
No, it looks very straightforward, and I like the style. That will be the next hat once I order the raffia.
You mean you don't want to drive out to Alexandria and deal with all of that construction?
No. No. Absolutely no.
Yeah. But both of your rainbow children,
yes,
3 out of your 4 kids have birthdays in June, so it's just bam, 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 one after the other. My birthday happens to fall on June 1st. Happy Pride. And this year I dragged my mom and my brother and my spouse down to Chantilly for some awesome pizza because I love mellow mushroom pizza, and that is the closest one to us. And we sat in traffic for 3 hours coming back.
Welcome
no.
to Washington, D.C. traffic.
Welcome to DC, y'all. No one's going anywhere. It's symbolic.
I never will drive there. I just take the train from Jersey if I have to.
Smart. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's smart.
Well,
Don't drive there. Don't do it.
speaking of birthdays, I had wanted to do, since I have some extras of the soaps. So I was gonna do, I have one of the Pride flag one and one of the Martha. So whoever had, no one has a birthday today, do they? Okay. Who's the next birthday?
Who's the next birthday?
Mine's in January.
March.
July 15th.
July 15th?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone early before that?
Sound like that one.
All right. So Sandy, send me a DM on Instagram or Gary it's Gary Rides at Gmail, and I'll mail this in the, and who has, it may be Peggy, who has the longest time to wait to their birthday? So did anyone have a birthday between June 1st and today?
No.
Stephanos, you did? No? No? Okay.
Both your
Both my
siblings
siblings.
and your deceased grandmother.
And my best friend.
Oh,
Another
But-
Ginny. She's gonna be so excited. I met another Ginny.
So you'll get the Marcia soap.
Oh, thank you.
I'll reach out to you and
oh,
get
so
your address.
nice.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Ineligible. That's really cute. I like that soap. It's cute.
Yeah, it is, and it smells. It's very citrusy. So hopefully that doesn't isn't offensive to anyone, but it's quite citrusy.
Should be good.
Martin, what are you working on? I mean, I know we know Pride Bears, but anything?
Bears.
Right. So I finished my cowl. So this
Yes.
is the Think Fast cowl by Fat
Ooh.
from Disturbing the Fleece.
Yeah.
You finished it?
I finished it.
Can't wait.
I sewed my ends in while we've been chatting. So I've got a nice little
Nice.
cowl.
Yes.
So
Nice.
it's really simple. You can't necessarily see it's got a lacy design.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I finished that. And
Perfect
the yarn
for
is
Florida.
Sorry?
Perfect for Florida.
Perfect for Florida, yeah. Well, it might be perfect for the nighttime for the fireworks because if you do the black light, it glows.
Oh.
Love that.
Ooh.
The yarn is
Yes.
it was Pride Yarn Special by a dyer here in the UK, Niche, of Knotted by Niche. And she does a lot of her yarn, most of her yarns are ultraviolet.
Where in the UK is she out of?
She is near Birmingham, Nottingham. She's kind of in the centre.
Okay.
What is the name of the cowl again, Martin? Let me find the pattern.
Their
It
sister.
is the
Think Fast.
Think Fast cowl.
Yarn.
That would be a long pop from where they are. But if they're on the road to Chester,
If they're on the road to Chester, my sister
are
can,
you
It's
on
not
the
too
road to
far out.
Chester?
It's not too far away.
so she could pop by the yarn store.
But yes, this was a really quick knit, so I'm really happy. So that's one done. That
That's
was
marvelous.
and then I've got
Oh,
my
glow in the
I've
dark.
done
Come on, sorry.
5 of my 13 bears.
Buy some for me too.
So are you going to turn them? Are you going to turn them into bunting?
Someone suggested bunting.
Yeah, I
and
saw that
feel
on
like that is I need rainbow bear bunting. Yeah,
Yeah.
You on the purple?
imagine them. They can be hung up on the bookcase.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've done 5. I have started a leg while we've been chatting.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
They make a really
Oh,
cute
nice.
wreath too.
Oh.
Really
Oh
are.
yeah.
Well, take some of your Pride ribbon and wrap it around a styrofoam
Yeah.
wreath, and then put the
Yes.
bears on it. Yeah.
That'd
There
be
you
so
go.
cute.
So yes, we're not doing too bad. Although I
Nice.
did think I'd have had them all finished by now, and I said I'm not even halfway. So
Yeah, yeah.
I need to put a shift in on bears. They need to be finished in the next week, I think.
Oof.
This Pride Month lasts as long as we say, right?
And,
There you
yeah,
go.
and I said the make along on my channel. I said until the end of August, knowing that I'm going to be away for most of July,
Right.
and I knew I would
Oh.
never finish everything in June. So I'm all right. I've still got time, but it would be quite nice to get them. At least if I can get the Pride flag done,
Yeah.
and then I can do progressive throughout the rest
Right.
of them. These are
Right.
these are the kind of, this would be fine for Florida. This is sitting in the queue because it's
Yeah.
the pattern's easy to memorize, and once you've done the little shaping on the paw,
Mhm.
it's like 60 stitches or something. So it's just around and and it's done.
Perfect, perfect for
Yes.
queue knitting.
Yeah,
Are
that's
you
my
gonna name? Are you gonna name each of them?
unimaginatively, when I've been doing them on social media, they are Red Bear and Blue Bear. They could
I
have
think they
names,
need to
I
be
guess.
Stephanus and Gary and Tony and
No, that's true.
Valerie.
Do people want to claim a color?
Well, each of the colors stands for something, so you could just name them. It's like, passion or whatever the
That is
thing,
true.
the colors of the. I don't know if that's true for the progressive pride flag, but I know the original one, each
The
one's.
original flag,
Yeah,
yeah.
the original one did. I
Yeah.
I
think the
see.
progressive one kept
Loyal
it.
love or whatever that was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I too gave myself, well, I said I'm not going to finish my thing for the month, so it's gonna happen when it's gonna happen. But I've been working on um last year during the Pride make along, a dyer Mary of Republic of Yarnia. I think she's also in the UK. I want to say she's Northern Ireland. I For some reason that's stuck in my
I think
head, but
so.
she sent me, she does like a kind of like an advent, like a little countdown, mini countdown for Pride. And she sent it to me, but it didn't arrive here until halfway through the month. And I was like, well, I don't want to go into it, start it now. So I said I'd use it for next year. So that's what I've pulled out, and I'm
I've been
making.
dying to see this.
Oh, it's
It's,
extra. I mean, the
it's
colors are. I mean,
Yes.
I'm like a navy blue and gray and olive person. This thing is so like wild.
Love.
Um,
wow.
so
Fun.
It is
it's
summer.
it's
Yeah.
something. But it
Safety
so there
colors.
was
Where
like
are you writing?
there was like a sub there was a solid and then like a kind of a variegated that I thought worked pretty well. The solids are obviously like day glow, and the variegateds have a little more, different colors in them. So I'm about to go from this red to then it's like a red and pink. So then it's like pink and purple and aqua and blue. So it's going to be,
It's a
um,
weird fade. It's like it
yeah,
fades
I think
nice. It's nice.
once I set it up, because I was like, oh, I'll do, I'll do the green, then I'll do the variegated that has green in it because you alternate. And I think maybe now, if I thought about it, it may be a little too sameness, and so it might have been interesting to try like what was opposite on the color wheel as the contrast color
Okay.
that you
Yeah.
were using. But it is what it is, and it's always good to have one really bright project. This is Brioche Adventure by Jonathan Tallow. Um, and it's perfect travel knitting. It
Is it really?
is, oh yeah, it's such an easy, I would say if you've never done brioche, this is a great first brioche
No.
project. Um, and because it's just like this parallelogram, so there's no real increases or decreases except right at the edge. And so it's a great way to practice if you're not familiar with brioche. So it's been really really fun. But I've got deadlines on a couple other projects, and so this is gonna have to go on the back burner for a bit. But
Yeah, I was watching you do the unboxing or taking them out every day.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, the colors were pretty though.
the
What's
colors
up?
are pretty. I just I don't know if I could have done a better choice. But this is the whole thing with the Stephen West things as well. Is like you pick out the colors and then you never really know until you get going with it what it's gonna. And I did when I took a picture of it. Because up close, I was like, it reminded me of that line from Clueless. It's like a Monet. Like from a distance, it's really pretty, but when you get up close, it's just a big old mess. And that's kind of like that's when I'm looking at it really close, I'm oof, this is rough. But like when I get some distance on it, the
Yeah.
distinctions of the stripes comes out a little bit more. So
I do
uh,
love that you've described that as a perfect travel companion, though, with all that brioche. And I'm sitting there going, I'm not.
oh,
That's such
oh,
No,
a
it's
project.
complicated.
if it was like some of his other patterns that have all the intricate increases and decreases, never.
Yeah.
But this is just straight brioche back and forth. And knock wood, I haven't had any real disasters yet. So
Yeah,
But
we all,
you're
everyone.
doing two colors at a time. on each row?
You do for
Just
the
like you do for brioche?
yeah, you do two, yeah, you go across with one color, then you slide it back and then do the next color. Except in the in-between sections, it's harder to see with the, but in between each of the brioche sections, there's 3 garter ridges. And
Oh,
in
okay.
that one, you do it just like regular garter stitch. You're back and forth with the same color, then back and forth with the other color. And then you
you're
go back,
sliding back. Okay.
and then you swap. And so like, and then you switch so that the contrast color on one side becomes the main color on the other. So the red, is
Yeah.
and so the red now and the red and pink variegated will be the two.
It's behind it.
Yeah.
I remember that pattern now. I remember a friend has got it as a sample, because you're right, because that brioche section, it's only that brioche section, because you then have, I got a break, I've got a little garter section, then you do it. Yeah.
And like I said, even though you're knitting it as a parallelogram, so it slopes, but the increases and decreases are always just at the I-cord edge. So you're never having to do any of those brioche increases or decreases where it's past 7 over,
slip,
pass, knit 3 together kind of thing. Yeah, no.
Or the Stephen way of doing it is like, doesn't the big shark eat the little fish or something?
I've not heard his.
I'm sure there's one. I think it might be Starflake when he does the brioche. The one of them is the shark eats the fish.
Okay.
See, it's clear way. I remember there's a thing about the shark eating the fish. I'd have to go back and watch the video, but he taught me sharks eat the fish. I'm sure it's sharks eat the fish.
That's smart. Yeah, those are the kind of things that every time I start a brioche project that has any of that stuff, I'm like, it's back to square one. I've got to have the pattern in front of me. I got to look at the instructions, watch a YouTube video, but this one is pretty straightforward, and I'm okay with fixing errors on just straight brioche. I can figure out what I've gone wrong, but once it gets into the increases and decreases, it's all over for me. So
yeah. When I did Exploration Station, I made a couple of. I'm not a fan of brioche because I couldn't fix it, so it scared me. That it was like, if I make a mistake, then that's it. So when I did Exploration Station, I chose it because it was a more straightforward brioche. But I deliberately made a mistake in it so that I could try to fix it. And actually, I've got a little bit more confidence now, and I've since done another brioche pattern, and I did have.
I can't remember who it is. It may be Nancy Marchand that has a whole series on fixing brioche mistakes. And I spent some time when I was doing some other brioche project, watching and rewatching those. And so the simple ones, like if it's just with no increases or decreases in a column, like I'm happy like dropping down like 7, 8 columns and rebuilding it up to fix a broken collar or whatever. But those series, I think that's what it was. She had a really great YouTube series on fixing brioche mistakes. But that is the downside to brioche, is once you start to get a little more complicated fixing those mistakes, I'm just like I just have to build in some tinking time.
Yeah.
My Starflake, I had when I was doing the brioche section, I dropped one and it laddered down through the like increase columns that are going on those like chevron things, and I was like, well, let me just rip this back and start over all the way back to the parallelograms.
Yeah.
No. It's okay. It wasn't that far.
Hi, Jenny. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. And that Starflake was my very first mystery knit along, and I didn't really know what brioche was, and a bit gung ho as a newbie, going, I can do this. Watch the video, and I remembered it like both rows. It was like 2 hours or something, and the telly was off. Don't talk to me. I was like the most awkward, and now there's like this little weird hole here, and you can see it gets better. But it's definitely you can see the regression on it. But I don't know who I was at that point going, I can do this. I don't need this alternative option. And then I did like the first row that took 2 hours, and I was like, what? No, this isn't fun.
What was the one after Slip Stravaganza? It had brioche in it. And I started it and I ended up pulling my needles all the way out because I was like, I'm not doing this. Ripped back because I made a mistake, and then did like the mesh alternative for it because I was like, I can't do it. And I didn't do brioche again for like 2 years. And then I don't remember. Was it Chalography?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just did, I don't know, we did a knit along with our local knit shop called Tistu. It's like a long cowl that you can twist and wear. And it has like all kinds of weird increases in it and whatever. And I went back and watched Steven's videos for brioche to learn how to do and I was like, I could have easily just done the brioche in that. And I was a little mad at myself, but now it's no problem.
Where Jay,
Just
where
takes a little
are you
practice.
located? Where are you located?
I'm in Kansas
Oh, okay.
in the Kansas City area.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. It's also hot here today. Hot blow dryer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone is telling me the same thing. And there's been people in the chats going, it's really hot in Florida at the moment. I'm like, yeah, I know. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
You know what? It'll be fine. You're right.
Yeah,
That's why they have lots of swimming
humidity.
pools too. You just go to the hotel and jump in the pool at night and you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. So fun.
Water, plenty beer.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That too.
Double fluids. Or plenty water, a few beers. Because one will just cancel that out. I may as well just not bother drinking.
You'll be in Florida. You might as well just drink beer.
Right.
And ride roller coasters.
You fit right in.
That's all I'm focused on. Get me on Velociraptor.
That's the magic word for Saturday, beer.
But I have found a yarn
Definitely.
shop. I have found a yarn shop in downtown Orlando.
Oh.
Because the holiday, the trip is very much regimented. So when Sandy said her birthday, I did look at my itinerary to go, oh, I'm in Epcot that day. Because it's all we're doing Florida. But we have rest days booked in. And on one of the rest days,
Good idea.
Mark and my brother were playing golf. And my sister was like, right, so we'll go Magic Kingdom. He's like, no. It's a rest day. It's on the schedule, rest day. So you go Magic Kingdom, they can go golf, I can have the hire car, and I'll go downtown Orlando and go to the yarn shop that I found. They're like, you're going to go yarn shopping? And I was like, yes, I'm going to go yarn shopping.
Vacation yarn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's my plan is at some point to try and get into downtown Orlando and try and find some yarn shops.
And key lime pie.
And key lime pie. Yeah.
I'm going to take myself on a solo date.
There you go.
Yeah. And in fairness, by that point, I'll have done 2.5 weeks with them, so I will need some time. Just like
a long time. That's right.
A little yarn therapy.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
I'd be really interested to see what kind of yarn they carry down there. Is it all going to be cotton? Is it all lightweight stuff? Is it acrylic blends?
I can't remember the name of it. I think I might have closed the tab. I did have the tab open with.
I feel there was when I was at Maryland Sheep and Wool a couple years ago. I met a dyer. I don't know if she's still dying. Called Copper Corgi. She was based in Florida, and almost everything she did was like linen silk or like cotton, cotton blends. I don't think she did any wool blends. It was all like plant fiber stuff.
Oh, okay.
I think one of the yarns, my orange that I'm using is by Emma's Yarn. And I think she's based out of Florida, but she dyes wool and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly.
I found Four Pearls is the name of the shop that I found. And they've got something on the Emma's Yarn 2025. Small. Yeah. But looking on their web, they've got all different brands, all different weights. All different.
She says Terry in the YouTube is saying Emma's Yarn is based in Orlando. So yeah.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
When Mr. Kickass's family used to do like family vacation down in Tampa, we always stopped by Creativity when I needed the break. Like yarn shopping, let's go. You have to. They carried a bit of everything. I think I got that blue, the downhill both ways socks, the like variegated blue. I'm pretty sure I got that there. Because that's the only place I would have picked up a local Florida yarn. Yeah. So that's cool. You'll find anything.
There'll be some souvenir yarn for sure.
Yeah, you have to.
They gotta make stuff for their family members that still live in Michigan. The snowbird, grandparents that live in Florida.
Yeah.
Make some.
Do y'all have rules for vacation yarn? when you're vacation yarn shopping. Oh, I'm the only person who does that. Okay.
I know. I
All
try to.
bets
I
are
mean,
off.
I try to keep it to something that's like local. If I, so it's like I'm not going to
Yeah.
go. To last year we were in Quebec, and I went into a bunch of yarn stores. And I was like, I wasn't going to buy like La Biana May in the Lake Arcone shop. I was going to buy their yarn or local dyers, and then you know like try to do something if I can plan a project that's like just with that yarn, so I kind of have a souvenir project from the yarn rather than just like dump it into stash, which is probably what I would have done like 2 or 3 years
A
ago. I
few
tried to be a little
Christmases
more.
ago, we did a 3 center trip. We did Copenhagen, Oslo, and Stockholm. So I found a local yarn shop in each one and then bought local yarn. So I have Swedish yarn, Danish yarn. I haven't yet cast that project on. That will be something. I found a Danish. It's in my Ravelry queue, but there was a pattern, a shawl pattern by a Danish designer as well. I think it might have been a Swedish designer. But the idea is that it's the local yarn with a local pattern, and at some point that will be. I'd forgotten about that actually until you said that. So that'll be in the deep stash somewhere. That probably needs to make its way out at some point this year.
So Gary, you're just back from France. Did you get yarn while you were
I
at
didn't
France?
even go into a yarn store. I don't even know who I am anymore.
Gary!
I know.
Amy's
Yeah,
shop was open in Paris
I
though.
know.
Wasn't it?
Like,
Were you
feel
there?
free just throw me out of what's in. What? So Labiana May's not there anymore. She closed her shop.
Yeah, but didn't she have a pop? She's had a pop up this summer because
She
of
had a
a.
pop up, but it closed before we got there. I would have probably made a
Oh,
special. I would have probably
right.
made a special. And there's another store that I did want to go to called Little Weasel. But because we were there for everything was the tennis, our whole stay in Paris revolved around the tennis. And so the timing of it didn't work out where I had like a few minutes to go. And at that point, I was also like, you know what? The last thing I need is really more yarn. The trip last year to go back, those skeins of yarn are still sitting in the bag with the project notes of what I wanted to make. So I was like, I could probably skip it this. And then when we were in Normandy,
You
it
really
looked
picked up
like
a bug there.
it
You
looked
really
like this.
weren't feeling well. Oh my gosh.
The what?
And that must have been one heck of a bug you picked up. You really weren't feeling well. I don't
I know
need any yarn.
Peggy's on the verge of blocking you.
That's right. That's right.
My
I've been
question is,
excommunicated from the yarn, the fiber world at this point. But in
We're just
Normandy,
going to send the authorities to check on you, is what we're going to do.
right? How can you watch a tennis match without knitting?
Oh no, I knit at the
Yeah.
match. There's actually
Oh,
I have
Okay, so those are totally.
No, a friend of mine was there. They were in Paris and they were sitting across the way, and he has a zoomed in picture. He was like, "Are you knitting during the women's semifinals of the French Open?" I was like, "Yes, sir, I sure am." He's like, I can multitask." I'm like, I don't even need to look. And like, as soon as you hear
Yeah.
the ball stop bouncing when they're about to serve, I stop, I look up, I watch the point, and then I keep going. Yeah, I was working on a pair of socks that just
I
something
love
easy.
that, Gary.
Yeah, my husband was like, I can't believe we're here at a Grand Slam tennis tournament and you're going to be sitting in the stands knitting. I'm like, well, they're not
least you have a
playing
good
every
seat.
second of the thing.
Yeah. It's like my walk.
I
Well, so you're
always
supposed to
work
do.
on worsted sweater when I go
Oh.
to the US Open.
Oh, mama mia. That's a lot. That's extra.
Well, right. I'm always extra. But the thing is, US Open, if you go closer to the final, it's always like September, and it's always cold or getting cooler at night. So having wool on your laps is
Okay.
perfect. So yeah.
Yeah, it did help that the weather it was kind of rainy a lot of the time, but it was cooler than I think now it's like in the 90s there, but it was like in the 70s. So even though I've just had a little project, but yeah, I'm not taking a worsted weight project to sit in the sun anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, no.
Anything else going on for folks? I don't want to go too long because I want to be mindful of Martin's bedtime because it's late over there.
All right.
I
I
threw
just
in
want
the
to.
chat
Wine with fun.
He's
All
if
right.
people were looking
Fill
for
in that-
raffia.
Fill that glass up.
Oh,
I threw Hobie's website in the chat because they have a lot of colors of the raffia too.
Oh, okay,
nice.
cool.
Thank you.
And they're pretty quick for shipping.
Stephanus,
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for all the organizers and everyone who's joining. And Be Extra Knitting podcast, I will have a giveaway that I will announce in July. So let's just celebrate June 1st, June right now, and then July I will pick people from any hashtag, any from the Ravelry group, and then I'll announce it in the July episode. But yeah, enjoy your project, enjoy supporting the community, and yeah, thanks for celebrating.
And if anybody isn't watching Stephanus, I've told you in chat before, I have so much fun watching your podcast when you talk about your travels and all the kind of the extra cultural things in there. It's been so much fun. So it's fun to
thank you,
talk to you
Sandy.
kind of in person.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Sandy.
Martin, I first saw you on the Stephen West podcast that you were doing with the huge group, and so that's how I first found out about you. And Gary, I've been watching you for a while and spent way too much money on yarn at your last. I may have to donate some back for your next one.
Yeah.
So I'm having fun with everyone, and it's great. And yeah, thanks for putting this on this afternoon too.
Yeah,
it's fun to see everyone's
thanks
work.
again, Martin, for hosting this. If anyone's going to Flock, I know Shannon is, because you're up there. But if anyone's going to Flock in August, I'm going to be there, and Nicole, who's Professor Pearl, she has a YouTube channel. She and I are going to try to do a meetup the Friday night of like we did last year for Flock. So just to find some sort of watering hole where they have a big enough space where y'all can just sit around and have some adult beverages or beverages of any kind and knit and stuff before the show opens on Saturday morning. So check that if you're going to be up in Seattle in August.
You want to go to Seattle in August?
I would love to go to Seattle in August, but my bank account will not allow me to do that.
Yeah, I think I'm working most weekends in August.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's nice to have a big, very well run show on the West Coast finally since Stitches shut down. But they've done a great job at least the last couple of years. So
Rip Stitches, we miss you.
Yeah.
At least you guys got to keep Stitches West for a little bit. East closed down
a long
time ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one just in Maryland though? Did you go to that one?
The Maryland show, yes.
Was that good? It rained though, didn't it? Wasn't there some bad weather?
Oh, did it rain?
It did.
Oh my.
I have a story about that one. Yeah, I am positioned such that I can get to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Show while avoiding all major highways, and thus all of the traffic getting to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Show. A friend of ours comes down from Pittsburgh. She brought her 11-year-old this year.
Are you in Maryland or Virginia then?
I am. I'm in Maryland.
Okay, I grew up in McLean. That's why my ears.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm literally under BWI Airport. If you have ever flown out of BWI, you've gone over my house. And if it was at 2 a.m.
Sorry about that.
But the 11-year-old at Sheep and Wool this year went home early. Uncle Mr. Kickass came to pick her up. And we're very glad because we were in the lower corral area downhill when the rain came in, and my younger sister sent a warning in her group or family group chat. She doesn't like thunderstorms, but she doesn't usually warn us about it. So we're like, okay, Syria, get the ponchos on, get ourselves all ready. Girl Scouts, of course, we had ponchos, and we ended up holding the tent up that we were in.
Well, we weren't holding it up. We were holding it onto the ground.
Then holding it onto the ground.
Oh my
gosh. The Aylford family farm tent.
Yeah.
And there was nowhere that the 11-year-old could have been standing in that tent where they wouldn't have gotten seriously hurt. So we were really glad she went home early.
Ooh.
It like knocked out the PA system at the show. It was a lot, and it was rough.
Hail, high winds,
Mhm.
lots of water,
Yep.
and
Well, I hope all the
And
wool
we-
was super washed then.
well, these are a local farm,
Yeah.
and they had learned their lesson. Almost everything they sell is in a Ziploc baggie.
Ziploc bag. So their
And
product was
yeah,
okay.
their products were pretty much okay.
Oh, that's good.
There were a number of vendors selling rainstorm sale.
Yeah.
The next day.
Other vendors who were under the organization had rented large tents. And if they could get their front covers down fast enough, they were okay, but the rain came so fast that a lot of places could not get their rain covers down.
Yeah.
Oh, wowza.
And the little
Lock is indoors, right, Gary?
Lock is indoors.
Yeah. But the little family that we were in, it was like, okay, we'll stop, say hi to the Alfords, and then we'll leave. And then it started to rain.
We're not leaving.
And they use, what do they call, like those picnic canopy things that were they're not expensive. They were staked to the ground, but the wind was so high, it was picking them up like a sail.
It was, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And threatening to literally blow them down the road and onto Route 70, which is not a place you want a tent blowing around.
But they were okay. We were okay.
We were okay, yeah. But we held everything.
Yeah. I went from like holding my hands up to hold the rain out from in between their canopies to suddenly grabbing onto the tent supports and just like holding on, going, okay.
Pulling them down.
I mean, I'm a friend of Dorothy, but this is ridiculous.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Come to Kansas sometime.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
Yeah, I heard out in Kansas, you guys have had some heavy
It's been down in the south part of the state in Wichita. There was a day last week that 8 inches of rain in a day. And it's flat there.
Wow.
It's flat everywhere here, but it doesn't drain so good. So
Yeah.
I'm not built for that kind of water.
Wow. But you guys are okay?
Y'all are
Oh
good?
yeah. Yep, I think up in the Kansas City area, we were pretty fortunate. So we did get some rain, but it's a little bit better up here because we're close to the Missouri River. So naturally things drain a little bit better up here. So yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, if you get 8 inches of rain, it's going to flood.
It's going to be
Right.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
Or
That would be our breaking national news for probably about 3 days. Our prime minister would go to visit. We would be paying respect. Like that's insane for the UK. And we have had that, like when you see it and it's horrific for like homes and small business and things. But yeah, like, and because obviously we're quite small compared to you guys, that would be national news for days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it can be, 8 in one day is a lot for anywhere, but I mean, the amount of rain that we've had lately hasn't been too bad. But Maryland's been getting hit with like a lot of wind. We just lost a really big limb out of one of our trees 2 days ago. We thought we'd lost everything out of this tree that we were going to lose out this year. Nope. Nope. It took out about an eighth of it.
Oh wow.
And it's a black locust tree, which are native to our area, but they're thorny. So you're going to pick up the branches and then you're dropping it, going, why is the tree biting? The tree is biting back. I'm trying to help you.
Ow.
I'm gonna go back inside and knit. See where I'm not wanted. A big tree. No, but
So, but yeah, Maryland usually doesn't get nasty, heavy weather like that. It's been unusual.
it has been, yeah. Yeah. Um,
Well, you
but
can keep that.
she's been
Keep the sun for me for when I get there now in
yeah.
no rain, no tropical storms.
Just so no, we're gonna send a cool wave down to Florida for you.
Yeah,
Yes, please. That'll be lovely. 20 degrees.
Yeah.
Martin,
when are you gonna be there?
Should I check in with my lady friend at the weather girl in South Carolina?
Please do.
And be like, hey, what storms are brewing in the Atlantic?
No, actually, I probably don't want to know any of that. So no,
Okay.
I'll just have blissful ignorance. I'll just
Just
have
Hurricane
window at the
Martin
villa
coming
every
over.
day, and then we'll see what it's doing.
Well, I'm going to have to jump here in a second, and I'm sure Stephanus has a tea party at the boat slip to get to.
Oh, look, he's changed outfits and
look
everything.
Look at him, like he's a girl on the go.
He's muted.
Looking good, baby, though.
Yeah, busted. You've had an outfit change. He's like,
that's right.
I thought I put my video off.
Nope. You put your video on to make us realize that you've changed outfits.
Well, I was gonna say, luckily, you turned it off.
He's got his bag on his shoulder and he's ready to go.
Y'all know what I'm about to do. I don't have to explain anything. Thank you so much for.
Stephanus, where's your hat?
It's right there. It is golden hour at the moment, so I will bring one, but we'll see if I'm going to wear it or not.
You gotta get outside for your good light for your content.
Yeah, get the golden hour pics.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone. Now I will put my video off now.
Well, safe travels.
Yeah.
And Martin, thanks again for doing this, and safe travels to you as well.
No, you're very welcome. Thank you. I think it should go automatically to YouTube now. As soon as we stop, it'll just stay there.
Okay, perfect. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's been on YouTube. That's what I got confused with the sound, because I accidentally had the sound on YouTube and the sound on Zoom.
Yeah.
So, I was that wasn't easy for a minute.
We got there. It's fine. But no, it's been lovely to chat with you. It's gone so quickly.
Yeah. Post all your photos on Ravelry so we can see the amazing projects everyone's working on, and hopefully get you some prizes.
I'll have to get with Stephanus and figure out that charting for that blanket I want to make. So I have a feeling this is going to be posted on next year's.
Can't wait to see how it turns out.
That's how mine turned out as well. So all right.
We'll talk on that. Yes. See ya.
Okay. Cheers, everyone. Thanks again. Thanks so much.
Bye. Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye.